Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my review of Tuesday night's edition of Smackdown. And I actually watched this when I was over at my friend's house. Me and my friend were watching it, and just watched it again to do the review. And I thought Tuesday Smackdown, I thought it was a good show. It was an enjoyable show. It was a lot better than Raw. And they just put on a good show. And the show opened up with Daniel Bryan coming out saying that the most shocking moment, this shocking moment came from an unexpected place. And he then shows a clip for what Dolph did last week. And he says he's been trying to reach Dolph all week, but Dolph hasn't responded to him. And Daniel then goes on to say that Dolph relinquished the United States title. Daniel announces that there will be a tournament to crown the new United States champion, and that the tournament starts tonight. And so he says that it will be Baron Corbin taking on Bobby Roode. And Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin come out. Gable says to Daniel, it's good for what he's doing with the United States title, but what's he gonna do? Gable says to Daniel, what is he gonna do with the tag team title situation? And Daniel says to both Gable and Benjamin that they had an opportunity for the titles at Clash of Champions. And Gable says, was it fair? And Benjamin says he and Gable never got a one-on-one matchup with the Usos, and that Daniel signed a couple of teams like the New Day and Aiden English and Rusev. And Benjamin says they beat the Usos, and proving that if it was just them at Clash of Champions, them versus the Usos, they would have been the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And then Aiden English and Rusev come out. Aiden then sings, why does he and Rusev need to face the Usos? He says that they both beat them 2 weeks ago, and that they didn't lose at Clash of Champions. And both of them were over with the crowd. The crowd was chanting for them. They were chanting Rusev Day. And New Day ends up coming out. Xavier, says, that the number one contenders should be the New Day, should be them. And Daniel then sets up a triple threat match for all three teams. And the winners of the triple threat will face the Usos next week for the tag team titles. And pretty much that was the first match. And the Usos then come out for commentary. They did commentary through the match. Sorry about that, but I was saying the Usos ended up coming out to do commentary for the triple threat match, which was the first match. So it was Benjamin and Gable versus New Day. It was Xavier and Big E. Kofi wasn't in the match, and it was also Aiden English and Rusev. And this was a really good triple threat match. It was very entertaining. Benjamin and Gable really enjoyed both of them in the match. You could tell this match was their time to shine, because they won the match. Benjamin and Gable won it, and they did a tandem bulldog to Big E to score the win. It was at one point in the match where both Rusev ended up suplexing both Benjamin and Gable, and Aiden English was the only one on the top rope, which that was really cool how Rusev took out Benjamin and Gable, suplexed them from the top, which that was really cool. But Benjamin and Gable won, and so next week on the first SmackDown show of the new year, next Tuesday, it's going to be Gable and Benjamin versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. So that's going to be a pretty good match. And of course, I forgot to mention, this is the final SmackDown of this year of 2017, and Raw on Monday was the last Raw of this year also. 2017. But all in all, the triple threat match, it was a really enjoyable, good match. It was really good. And then after the match, we had Daniel and Shane backstage. Shane says to Daniel that he got upset when Daniel said Shane was turned into his father. Of course, Vince, Mr. McMahon. And Daniel says to Shane that he's been throwing his weight around a lot, just like Vince. Shane questions Daniel's logic as to, Daniel put Corbin in the U.S. Championship tournament. And, he goes on to say that, Corbin and Bobby Roode could have just went one-on-one, that they should not go through the tournament. And Daniel ends up telling Shane, it's the land of opportunity, and that, it was the best idea to give, opportunity to both of them. And Shane questions the main event, which is AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens, and he questions that if they should deserve an opportunity. And Shane says that, Daniel is, liking Owens and Sami, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Daniel says that Styles and Owens was the most heated rivalry this year, and that they should end the year with one more match. And Shane then agrees to it. So it was a pretty good backstage segment with Daniel and Shane. And this whole first hour of SmackDown, it was just like Raw. It was commercial free. So after that backstage segment with Daniel and Shane, we went to the next match. It was the Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan versus Breezango once again. And of course, this was just a squash match. This really wasn't that good of a match. It was just a squash match. And the Bludgeon Brothers, this match ended in a no contest because Ascension came out. And, they were trying to take out Harper and Rowan, but Harper and Rowan managed to escape. Ascension tried to escape them, because they carried Breezango to the back. So pretty much, basically, Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan were just, taking out Breezango. They could have automatically pinned them, but, the match ended in a no contest. So. And then after that, we saw the Ascension and Breezango backstage. Breezango was trying to get interviewed, but Ascension, takes over and says, what Harper, Rowan, the Bludgeon Brothers did to Breezango, saying that the Bludgeon Brothers crossed the line. And they say that Breezango are going to take on the Bludgeon Brothers in a rematch next week. So, but once again, next week we're going to see the Bludgeon Brothers, destroy Breezango once again. So, but yeah, that's that little short segment with Ascension and Breezango there. And next match was Ruby Riott versus Naomi. This was okay, wasn't great or perfect though, but it was back and forth between them. You had Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan interfering in the match, which led to Ruby Riott to score the win. She won the match with the Riot kick to Naomi. And then after the match, we had the Riot Squad beat up on Naomi. Charlotte ends up coming out to save Naomi, and she starts to take out the the Riot Squad. But Sarah Logan then kicks Charlotte, and it leads to the Riots to take out Charlotte and beat up on her, take her out. And it's just the Riot Squad standing in the ring. And then Natalya, Tamina, Lana, and Carmella, they all end up coming out, and they're in the ring with the Riot Squad, thinking that a little brawl was gonna start, but The Riot Squad retreat out of the ring, and then a little brawl ensues outside the ring, and it's just Natalya, Tamina, Lana, and Carmella, trying to take out the Riot Squad, but the Riots end up running. The Riot Squad ends up running to the back. So, but all in all, the match was okay. It wasn't great or perfect between Ruby Riott and Naomi. And then we had Renee Young interviewing AJ Styles about him going into his match with Kevin Owens tonight, and how is Styles going to deal with Sami Zayn and Owens in Kevin Owens' corner. Styles says that when he steps in the ring, he is the favorite and his opponents are the underdogs. And he says he started the year as champion, which he did, and he's going to end the year as a champion, as WWE champion. And he says if Kevin Owens is going to beat him, he's going to have to outwork, outsmart, and out-hustle him. And Styles goes on to say that 2018 SmackDown will still be the house that AJ Styles built. So it was a pretty good interview with Styles. And then we had the first match in the United States Championship Tournament in the first round. It was Bobby Roode versus Baron Corbin. This was a pretty good match. It was back and forth between Bobby Roode and Baron Corbin. Bobby Roode, really enjoyed him in the match. He got the win with the roll-up because Bobby, I guess, Bobby was on the top. Corbin ended up catching him. Almost looked like Corbin was going to choke slam Bobby Roode, but Roode ended up countering it with the roll-up, and so Bobby Roode wins the first match in the first round of the United States Championship Tournament. So, but all in all, it was a pretty good match between Roode and Corbin. Really liked it. Happy that Bobby Roode won the match because it was glorious. So, and then we had the second match in the first round of the United States Championship Tournament. In the United States Championship Tournament, it was Jinder Mahal versus Ty Dillinger. As we all know, Ty Dillinger was probably not going to win the match because they, with Ty Dillinger, he's basically, a jobber now. WWE has made him into a jobber because we haven't seen Ty Dillinger in like weeks, a month or so, and they're just now, putting him in a match. But it was basically, Jinder just, trying to take out Ty during the match. But Jinder got the win with the Colossus on Dillinger to score the win. And so Jinder wins the second match of the United States Championship Tournament. So, but all in all, it was a good match. Really liked it. I mean, I like seeing Ty Dillinger in here, but the guy needs, a push. He needs a big push, Ty Dillinger. So, and then after that, we saw Kevin Owens was being interviewed about his main event match tonight with Styles. Owens has, a bottle of champagne, and he goes on to say that it won't be open until he beats Styles tonight. He goes on to say that, it was the same champagne that Daniel refused to take from him and Sami last week. And Sami Zayn was also with him too. And Owens starts talking about Shane, that he did everything he could to lose. That he did everything he could for Owens to lose the match with Styles, and that he calls Sami Zayn his guardian angel, and he says Daniel believes in them, believes in both him and Sammy, and that he needs the champagne when he beats Styles tonight. So it was a pretty decent little interview with Kevin Owens. And then we had Renee Young interviewing Randy Orton. Orton says he's been dealing with everyone's issues except his, and that he has to worry, that he has to, himself to worry about. And he goes on to say the thing he's concentrated right now is to throw 29 superstars over the top rope. So Orton officially announces that he's entering the Royal Rumble. Shinsuke Nakamura comes and says, that's a good idea. Let's rumble. So I guess maybe Nakamura is going to be in the Royal Rumble now by that announcement. So, but it was a decent little interview with Orton. Then we get to the main event, Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. This was a good main event. Sami Zayn was out there during the match. Interfered in a part of the match in the end, and he had Styles end up hitting Sami because Owens moved out of the way, and that led to Styles throwing Owens into the post. Shane McMahon ends up coming out, telling the referee to throw out Sami Zayn, and the ref, pretty much tells Sami Zayn to go to the back, throws him out, and eventually led to Styles eventually getting the pin count on Owens. The referee was distracted from what was going on outside, telling Sami to go to the back, and then Owens rolled up Styles and he won the match. Owens won the match with the roll up. So Shane's plan pretty much backfired. So, but all in all, it was a good main event. Really liked it. So anyways, that's it for my review of Tuesday's edition of SmackDown. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and until next video, I'll see you all later. Bye.